Hi, my name is Bill Lowe. I used to work in Los Angeles as an editor, and today we're going to talk about video editing. This is my editing room. In fact, I have about 5 computers I use for editing, and I now mostly do my stuff for the Butterfly Festival, but I also do documentaries like Me Walk and the Veterans Unforgotten Memories. So I like to talk about equipment. There's several ways. I am a Final Cut person. I'm also an Apple person. When I worked in the movie industry, we mostly used Apple products. Avid was used on Apple. This right here is the Power Mac. It's the high-end Mac. But you don't need to buy the high end. I have a Power laptop Pro, and that's very good too. But this is the top of the line Mac Pro, and this came out a couple years ago, and of course it's been upgraded since I've gotten it. You know, as soon as you buy the computer, it's out of date. But over here we have the Mac Mini. And this is a low end, but actually it's pretty powerful little computer right here. And that really does a great job. And then in the other room I have an iMac, and it's an iMac Pro, and that does a very good job. Again, for editing, you got to pay the price for the equipment. So if you get an HP and you brag that you paid only $700 for it, you didn't get a good HP. You just got a regular HP. You need to get an HP that's running over $2,000 to be able to handle editing, especially if you're doing ultra, 4K or even HD. It's important that you spend the money for a good computer. And of course, I use this computer for a lot of things. It's good to have a good amount of memory on the computer. 2 terabytes is good. But also you need to have, as you can see, I have all these drives. This is where all your dailies go on to. You don't store your dailies on your computer. You store it on a drive, and you make duplicates. And what you do, it doesn't matter whether it's Final Cut or it's with Adobe. They both work on file base, and so you need to duplicate the files, put it in a duplicate folder. So let's just say you have a project called Veterans. So you have a Veterans folder on this drive here, and you label the drives, and then you'll have your duplicate will be another Veterans folder. So it's exactly duplicate. So if something happens with this, it takes you very little time to relink everything. Everything's about relinking on Adobe and Apple. On Avid, it relinks in a way where it has its own file base. And it's a lot easier to relink, but you pay a lot more for it. And what it does, it takes your video and it actually has to convert it into their file base. So there's time where you need to wait for it to convert. And then when you output it, you have to convert it back out to a QuickTime or a MOV, because it's not compatible with projection equipments or whatever. You need, you want to have MP4 or a MOV, some of the Apple codecs, and there's other codecs. You have to convert it. Whereas on Final Cut and on Adobe, your only conversion is maybe you're going to release it on MP4 or whatever. It's a lot easier conversion. To learn how to edit is to learn how to run the machine, but after that, you need to have intuition and some talent too. You need to understand. I mean, anybody could put this shot together with this shot, but to do it in a creative way is something that you need to learn, and also you need to have that thing in the back of your mind of timing. Editing is timing. And I've come in and worked on a lot of projects where I've taken over from other people, and it's interesting how there's so many different ways you can cut something, and that's what I like about it. There's not just one single way. You could start off with a close-up of a person, or start off with a wide shot, but also maybe you cut to a person reacting first. Listening to someone yell at them or be romantic toward them. And it's all about style. And when you watch movies, you'll see that each movie has a different style and different rhythm to it. And that's what the editors bring, is style and rhythm. Obviously, the producers and directors are the final say on a project. Maybe at another time we'll go into techniques of editing, but one of the most important things is organization. You see here, you have a bunch of bins here, and the idea, this is not the best example. On one of the shows, I have, like all the people who I interviewed, I have their own special bin for them. So I organized it. I organized it about cuts. For instance, there should be a current edit and then a past edit, so I can clean out excess video edits so that I can still save them but be able to access them if I need to in the future, saying, well, on cut 10 there was something I really did really well, now I'm on cut 20, let's go back to 10. So I save all my cuts, but I do it in such a way that it's in a separate bin, so there's no clutter. That's the main thing about editing, is to not have clutter, to have it organized, to have your takes, every piece of material that you take, have that labeled on what it is so you can easily find it. Especially if you're going to go into professional, you got to have organization, because the producer will say, well, I remember this take, and you won't be able to find it. So obviously in movies you'll have a script and they'll have the tapes numbered, and then your assistant needs to organize it so that you can easily find the take, and also your script notes will have circled takes of what the director or the producer liked. And then what I always do is I looked at also the takes that they didn't circle, and I find that there's often times where they said, I'm so glad you went to one of the alternate takes that I didn't circle, because that's a better performance. I'm more into performance, and so I go through and I write notes in my script, and I for each take of that actor, I'll give a good, fair, medium assessment and write notes against each take, and then I can go through and pull out the best takes, and then when the producer comes in, and the idea is to show him that I've done my homework so that he stays in my editing room as little as possible. I want them to be able to trust me, and that's the job. The job is to be able to pick out the right material and make them excited to be able to see it, know that it's right, and leave it, and go off and do their other work that they need to do. So in conclusion, it's all about preferences when it comes to getting a program for editing. Again, I'm a Final Cut person. I know how to do Adobe. I've used Adobe many times. In fact, my computers do have Adobe on it, Adobe Elements or Adobe Editing. But I prefer the Final Cut, one, because I only pay for it once, and and the Apple upgrades it all the way through to when your computer is obsolete and you get in the next computer, you just move that app over to that computer, and they'll continue to upgrade it. So it works for editing. Next time we'll go into details on how to edit and how what's important in editing, and how to manipulate a frame, because sometimes performers might screw up on a line. So how do you manipulate that to make them look great? I worked on many a show where everybody says, wow, this actor was really good. If the director only knew how bad, what I had to do to make the actor look good. And the actor became a big shot. He's been in a lot of Marvel films and all, and so he's continued on. But that in that editing room, we help him along and made a better performance out of what he gave us. So next time we'll go into more details. Thank you.